think that possibly winter is finally descending on the Republican Party. The gains, certainly, of Ronald Reagan in bringing what were called Reagan Democrats, and they were disaffected by the Carter administration, into the Republican Party. I think the gains of him bringing Republicans back into the party, even what were referred to as Rockefeller Republicans, I think those days are past us. You have people like the Berlin Betty of broadcasting for the conservatives, Ann Coulter, out there spewing her venom like the multi-headed serpent that she is. It's really disturbing, and I think that she casts a shameful and hateful light upon decent Republican women. I think that a lot of women in the Republican Party probably quietly pulled a ballot for the other guy this last election. That's the only way it would explain the way the votes went in certain districts. And the women that I grew up with who were Republicans were very respectful, very kind, very educated, and informed on the issues. This absolute indecency, this shameful thing that Virginia Foxx did, following the cue of Rush Limbaugh, as she, as a congresswoman of the United States, stood there and defamed the memory of a dead child before his mother, is a disgrace. It is a shameful light on all of us. I have watched, and not with amusement, as constantly, one after the other, these Republican leaders have been disgracing themselves before the people, either through hypocrisy or venom. It is time for that to stop. This Karl Rove, Bill O'Reilly, Sean Hannity mentality that is pervasive in the conservative movement, and that's not even going into the evangelical side of things, is really harsh. It is the kind of politics that divides us as a country, because it creates an us against them mentality, which they are ever so good at doing. As an honorably discharged, decorated, disabled veteran, I am ashamed of this congresswoman. I am ashamed of Michelle Bachmann for trying to compare the swine flu to having a Democratic president. How intelligent is that for a congressperson to make? You know, the men certainly line up on that extreme conservative side to take their licks for being willfully or purposefully ignorant, especially those who have the power of the broadcast. It is time that Republican women in particular have a little talk with their husbands like Nancy Reagan used to do with hers. You know, this sharp-edged nonsense has got to stop. It drives a dagger into each side as it goes on, and I am not saying that the liberal side of things does not have its own faults. I personally am a civil libertarian, and that gets down to one thing: either we are a free country or we are not. In this country, blacks had to fight for their vote, women had to fight for their vote, and now gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender people are fighting for their rights. You know, there is a passage that goes, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The willfully and purposely ignorant in this country are the biggest danger to it. As for the Republican Party, Barry Goldwater said it best with regard to religious conservatives. He said, if these people are ever allowed to take over the party, it will destroy it forever. You know in your heart he was right. We have to move away from religion traveling in the same cart with politics. As Frank Herbert said, when they do, the whirlwind follows. And winter, I think, has set in, at least for the neocons in this country, because in their quest for power and money, they have forgotten their humanity. Many have left their souls behind in the pursuit of wealth. In the pursuit of wealth and at the expense of other people. And you dare turn around when somebody comes into office and wants to help the common man? How many of you pay more than 17% tax? I am, as an American, very dismayed by what I see. I do hold hope in my heart. I'm not crazy about the two-party system, but it's the best thing that we have right now. I tend to favor more of a coalition because it represents people better. But I think we really need to get rid of people who speak from a hateful point of view, or at the very least thoughtless. My name is Hugh Lundberg. I am an honorably discharged, decorated, disabled veteran, speaking on behalf of decency. Thank you, as I say at the end of every video, have a wonderful life, and thank you for listening.